Jeez Louise. Come on, come on. I think we're good to go. Orientation is locked. I wonder what that means. Crazy. Okay. All right. So I got to get the camera right there. It won't let me put it sideways for some reason. Not sure what the deal is. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. I'm breaking a sweat already. Let's take a look over here. Trying to figure out what patterns I'm going to use. Are we going? All right. I think we're set now. Crying out loud. Let me see. There we go. Whew. I'm breaking a sweat here, guys. Been trying to pack and move stuff around and get things rolling and moving. All right, let's check it out and see. This is crazy. Should be going here live. Let's see. All right. So I'm working on trying to get these couple of these rolling here. So with these little crappie jigs, I've had some success on them. I just got to keep them going, and hopefully they'll work. Continue to work. It's just been hit and miss with some of them, with some of the colors. So I got to keep that going. And we'll once I get that situated, I'll be able to crank out more and more of them. So we'll see. All right, let me take a look at this. I'm still having issues with settings. Jeez Louise. All right, there we go. There we go. Crying out loud. I had everything turned around sideways. Switched around. Okay, let's get this thing rolling. All right, so how things are going with these jigs, they're, like I said, I've tested a bunch of them. They do pretty well. Some of them, not so much. So I just got to keep them rolling, and hopefully we'll get them sorted out and situated. Um, the color that's worked best for me is this combo of white and gray. And so I'm going to keep making those. And once I get those rolling a little bit more, I'll start perfecting them. I also have some with the feathers right here. So I got to keep working on those. I got those from the farm up in Iowa. And essentially, just have fun with it. I make a lot of mistakes with the lures. So I just got to, keep at it, keep working at it. And if something comes up where I make a mistake, I usually just try to keep going and sort it out and keep it rolling and try to get it fixed. Let me check some audio stuff here. I don't know, see if you guys can hear me. Let me see. Here we go. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. All right, let's get rolling. Sorry, guys. All right, let's get rolling. Sorry, guys. All right, let's get rolling. Isn't that the case with the live feed? You're trying to get things going and you can't do it. It jumps around. I guess that happens to everybody. A lot of the live feeds that I look at, that's what's going on. Anyway, so I'm going to tie one of these and then we'll get things moving to some other stuff, talking about baits. Yeah, like I was saying, guys, I make a ton of mistakes when I'm doing these. It's just a lot of practice and a lot of fun. I got to keep working at it. I'm almost out of this black. I'm going to have to switch to a different color here. Okay, I got that one. Let me get this one. Where's the black? Or excuse me, the white. Here we go. We'll get this one going. So this is that craft fur that you can get from just about anywhere. I always get it from Barlow's, and works out pretty good. Let's do a little rotation here. We'll get this here. We'll get this going here. We'll get that going there. All right, let me see what's going on here. Let's take a look. I'm getting a message here. Technical difficulties, audio. There we go. Okay. Hopefully you can hear now. I don't know, guys. I've never done live stuff before on this. So that's just how it is, how it's going to go. Okay, let's see. This one's looking pretty good. It's a little long, so I need to trim this one up just a little bit on the back end. I'm not going to use that little whip tool. I just do my little handy dandy homemade knot. Uh-oh, where's my... Where's the glue? My glue for this. Is it in here? Ooh. Are you kidding me? Crying out loud. Where's the glue? Sorry guys, I gotta jump around here. Here it is. All right, so I've been using this stuff lately. It works out pretty good. Just a little dab here and there, and it works out pretty good. All right, let's get this thing open. Let's get this trimmed just a bit. Yep, you got it. I got the fan going, so it makes it a little trickier to tie these because you get this fuzz going everywhere. This one I got to trim just a little bit around the head right there. Hey, the other thing with these is I need to put the eyes on them. So I got a little rack here where I hang them. And then one by one, I'll start getting the eyes on them a little bit later. So anyway, that's pretty much it in terms of how things are rolling with this. Let me check some over here. Somebody's got it's gnarly 20 saying, hey, what's up? Let me see what's going on here. Got a whole bunch of baits over here, guys. I got tackle boxes stacked up like you wouldn't believe. So we'll talk about these in a few minutes. Tons of them. I've got so much stuff piled up here. I wish I could get the camera and show you just how much I've got it stacked up in all these different places here. It's just stuff everywhere. I've got flash, I've got crafting hair, so it's, you know, just a mess. But anyway, we're going to do some more. My goal is to try to get at least 20 of these done and then squeeze in some of the tackle chit-chat that's going on. And talk about some holiday stuff. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, I saw something. Let me get this. Take a look at this. These candy canes by Dum Dum. Dum Dum, those suckers, I didn't even realize that they made candy canes. So I got some of those, and I was thinking, you know what? They may actually be pretty tasty. All right, so we got one done. Let's switch over to an orange. I've got this, it's just packed full of these jig heads in there, and I got to try to get them all done over the break here. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. See, today it's raining, so I'm not out there fishing. A couple of days ago, the video that just dropped yesterday was from a couple of days ago. I was out there. It's pretty good stuff. I was testing lures again, having a good time doing that. The rattle traps, old school rattle traps, and swim baits. So I was tinkering with that, or spinnerbaits, excuse me. Those old school spinnerbaits that I used to throw as a kid. That was like the first lure, and like maybe a headin' that I used in Iowa when I'd be up there fishing. And the spinnerbait, I was catching tons of pike on them, and just having just a great time doing that. There goes that craft fur just blowing everywhere. All right, let's get this guy smoothed out. There we go. Yeah, the thing with the rattle trap was I hadn't thrown that in I don't know how many years. And then throwing the old school spinnerbait, not counting a MEPS, the MEPS I throw all the time, but that old school type, man, I hadn't thrown one of those in I don't know how many years. And so it was good to get back on that. And I got put different trailers on there. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. Okay, this one we're going to do a little bit of chartreuse on the bottom. Crying out loud, this thing is a mess. Hang on a second, guys. I got to trim this. Well, this thing, it was just almost in a knot. All right, here we go. Yeah, before that, the fishing I was trying to do out there, it's just been brutal. And it wasn't like it was really cold down here. It was just, there was rain in the forecast. And so we were, I don't know if it was a barometric pressure or what got everything all fouled up, but I couldn't get anything, not even on a Senko, the stick bait. Just nothing was going. So I had a couple, I mean, there was, possibilities of more videos that never came to be because of, what had happened there. This is crazy right there. All right, let me see. All right, this one's going to be the gray and chartreuse. We got a nice spread around there. Yeah, I saw on the news too that they were talking about, a possible white Christmas for some parts in the country, and I was saying, no way, there's nothing like that going to be around here. There's been times, when I lived in Amarillo where we had a white Christmas, and it was it was a big deal, cool stuff. Then we had one that was like an ice Christmas, and that was pretty exciting. All right, we got that one rolling. Let's get some glue on here. All right, we got this guy going. Need to trim him just a little bit. No, actually, he's all right. Check out how that one turned out. There we go. Just a little. He's got some floaters up there, but on some of those floaters, I don't mind too much because of the not everything in down there for lures has to be balanced. In fact, sometimes if it's a little off, you're going to get some extra play that way. All right, let's take a look and see what's going on here. Let me move these. Oh, what's up, Gnarly? 20. Good to see you, man. Have you been out fishing? I saw you made a comment on it that you never really thrown the rattle trap. Gotta do it. It is like maybe thrown it a couple times. Get out there and throw it. It's a lot of fun. Let me see if I got some rattle traps sitting right here. Not this one. Not these. Not these. Here. Oops. Here we go. Get these mountain of tackle boxes here. Let me get these out of the way. There we go. You guys are probably like, hey man, what is he doing? Is he gonna knock everything over? Digging through the vault. All right, here we go. Okay, so for the rattle traps, at first I didn't have a clue anything about how to identify one, but you can always tell because it's got the little fin up here, and they'll not always, but they usually have. Let me get this out of the way there. The little shad dot, and sometimes right here I'll snip off this front hook. And usually when it's traveling through, it's like this, and as the water is pushing, the hooks are up anyway. It's a little lipless crankbait. It's got a nice rattle. All kinds of different colors. There's old school ones. So they try to rotate their colors out over the years. Some of them are more desirable. So it just, depends on what you're looking for. And you see, like this one doesn't have that typical dot on there. This one's knotted up here, but neither does this one. This one does. It's a little fuzzier. And then I've got some off brands. Because pretty much every company will make a crankbait, lipless crankbait there. Added some little touch up of blood on there with nail polish. So that's kind of cool. Then you have, look at this mess. Hang on, guys. I didn't pre-sort any of this. It's just kind of going with it. So I don't really collect lures so much, but I do have a bunch of these. I've got a ton of maps. I mean, just typical fisherman, you got a ton of everything. Look at the colors on that. Just phenomenal. That's going to look good in the water. The rattle on this one's a little bit different. And then you have some that don't have any rattles, or the silent ones. So this one's pretty cool. It's got that little shad dot on it. Some colors on the bottom. They do a good job with colors on the top and on the bottom. Here's one that I put a little bit of blood on there. It's chrome all the way around, except on the top. So one thing that a lot of people I don't think realize is fish are usually looking up. And so the bottom color, the belly color, works out really well too. So that's something not to, forget about. Here's one from another company. This one's a Lunker Hunt, a little bit newer, translucent. So got a ton of these lipless crankbaits that aren't just rattle traps, and I use them in different situations. This one's a little bit old school right here. And there's some people that really collect these. I don't, for me, collecting them is, this one's a little, let me get this where they're still. Hear that? Little different rattle. Anyway, all right, enough nerding out on these. So what I was saying is, I mean, I have some of them, but I don't really go out of my way to collect them. Part of it is my brother was gifted a huge set of, a whole bunch of tackle from a guy who had retired from bass fishing in the area. And so let me get this out of the way. And so when he retired, Christian, my younger brother, got these tackle trays just crammed with lures. And so there was a bunch of them in there, and I didn't have a clue. I mean, they were like crankbaits and stuff like that, and jerk baits and plastic worms and all kinds of stuff. But I didn't really have a clue on which ones were like vintage and whatnot. So, for example, here's one. This one's by Rebel. It's got its own unique rattle. It's got kind of a weird textured plastic there. So that was one of them. A couple other ones in here. So I tried to reach out to a couple of guys if they could help me ID some of these, because some of them don't have any kind of markings on them. But I did have a couple of these. Are the highly sought after ones. Get this trimmed off. Sorry, guys. Let me get this. What on earth is going on here? What, did he weld this on here? Jeez Louise. There it goes. Just trying to trim the tag in on this. Is from butane plastic. It's an original wiggle wart. It's got those funny eyes, the bulgy eyes on there. And butane, they don't make it anymore for lures because it causes cancer. And so a lot of people were, freaking out about it. So here's one. So these are probably the lures I've got that are worth the most. These are little crankbaits. Excuse me. Still getting over that. Here's a bigger version. Right at the end, right when Christmas break started, I got this just horrendous cold. And I'm still trying to get over it. I'm feeling much better. Not contagious anymore or anything like that, but, had a fever, just all kinds of junk going on. But got this guy right here. This is another Rebel. Trying to see if I can get these hooks unkinked. There we go. So the thing is with me, I don't, in terms of collecting lures, if you're going to collect them, this is a pose, this is an old one. Oops, there we go. If you're going to, collect them, then you can't really throw them. And so that's not going to work for me. Hang on, let me check on something here, guys. I think I do have one or two in original packaging. All right, here's one. There's one that I haven't ever opened. And it's a cedar made bait from Stanford Lures. And this is like a sun perch pattern, I think. So it's pretty cool. So I never opened that. And then I've got some bombers. Bombers is cool because when I was teaching in Gainesville, that's where the home of Bomber was for like years and years. And the building is still there. The thing about it is it's like some kind of a charitable, it's a warehouse for like a charity, I think. And I stopped by there several times, taking pictures of the building. And then when I was in Gainesville, I'd always, keep my eyes peeled at like garage sales and stuff for any bomber lures. I guess if I do collect any, I don't want to say actively collect, but I do have bombers. I'll show you those in just a minute. But the other one, going back to that guy that had given my brother these tackle trays, these just tons of Smithwicks, these Rogues, and a lot of these I hadn't even had a chance to throw yet. So there's nothing in terms of activity on some of them. And then there's just some ones I've collected over the years that are just mine, or that I've had. That's another Rogue. And then there's some just crazy looking ones, like this salamander looking thing. I think these are called mud dogs or whatever. So those are some of the rare ones that he had in here. And there's just, at some point I'll throw them, but I can't get to every single one. I guess I could make a video on testing them like today. Hey, welcome back, fishing friends, to another adventure. Today we're going to be testing the Smithwick Rogues or whatever. So here's another one. I guess I could do that. It just goes on and on with all these lures that the dude had. So I thank my brother for giving me that. And then, anyway, so then some different sizes. Some of these guys I don't even know unless it's got the name on there. I've got no clue. I've got trying to have somebody help me, like I was saying before. ID a bunch of them, and that's just, I don't want to burden them. This is a What is this? This is a Rapala. That one's got the name on it. Some of them, you know what they are because they stamp them, and they do that traditionally. Look at this thing's missing hooks. What is this guy? This is an old Excalibur. See, some of them you can actually ID them, and then a bunch you can't. You're just like, what's going on here? All right, there we go. Let me see. Bull Markets wants to know, hey, what's up, Bull Market? What kind of base does that glue have? Oil or water? I don't have a clue. Let me see. Maybe pig fat? I don't know. Pig oil or whatever. I don't know. Doesn't say anything. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. Hey, let me grab these bombers real quick. Not that one. Here we go. Sorry, guys. All right. Man, with the weather outside and craziness, I just couldn't get out to do fishing. Boy, it'd be a bad day to have a pig die on you in this kind of weather. All right, here we go. So here's like a little Model A. I've got a ton of these bombers, and I've just had a bunch of my own, and then some were in that guy's tackle box. And then one I actively did purchase, and that was this guy right here. And I did a video on this. You can go back and look for it. It was Bomber 7A. From when I lived in Gainesville, I was always looking for them. And then, they moved the company out of there, and it went, I don't know, it's somewhere. I think LureNet owns it now. And they make these in Guatemala, maybe. But for years and years, they were making them there in Gainesville. And I want to say the guy's name was Tuberville, and I taught with the Tuberville there. The guy who really got the company started, never met him, don't know anything really about him, but I did hear or read one time that the 7A was the model that he really liked and had the best performance. So when I decided to buy one of these to make a video, I got it off of eBay. It wasn't very expensive. And I got the 7A, and sure enough, I caught a bass fishing up there in Iowa. The other kind I like is, let me do a comparison here because I know I'll have relatives and buddies ask about it. See, take a look at that. That's just a round-bodied crankbait right there. So it's a little square bill on this one. This one's shallow diver, bangs along the rocks. But then you've got a whole series of flat sides like these, and these are the ones that I really like. Almost like if you had a bill on the rattle traps. And these do have a rattle in them. Let me hold these down so I can hear that. It's good stuff right there. All right. Here's another flat side. And these are flat A's. But there's, tons of them. You got the little bitty ones right here. These are 4A's. This one's got a little rattle. And then you have some that look like craws. So, tons of different color variants. But if you're looking to get into crankbaits, Bomber's a good one. They're inexpensive. Then you have some that are really old school. Let me get this out of the way. Where are they? Here it is. Oh, it's like doing surgery trying to open this box. All right, guys. So I'm a part of that Monster Bass subscription. You've seen me kind of post things on that. And then they've got a bunch of their series of crankbaits, plastic, newer stuff. The red hook up there is for an additive attractant. Some of them will have the little tail on them. And so I throw those, I don't want to say all the time, but once in a while, what you don't see in a lot of the videos is when I'm out there throwing stuff, it's a lot of it doesn't make it into the video because there's just nothing was going on, nothing was hitting them. All right, now these guys right here are pretty cool. These are made out of balsa, and these are Bagley's, and you can get these pretty much on Amazon, but I like to go to Northland Tackle, which is based out of Minnesota, and these are fabricated solid balsa, good stuff. And I know somebody's going to ask me this. It's a family member. They've asked this before. You can have coffin type bills. Usually the longer bills, deep diving, like those little shorter bills that I showed you on that bomber. That's a little square bill. That's shallow diver, bangs around the rocks down in there, but it's a deep diver. It's another Bagley. You can see they stamp their names on them, so you can tell what's what. Anyway, so it's, one of the things is in making the videos, I like to have like a diary of some of the stuff where I'm out there fishing, but it also gives me a chance to test different lures because there's a lot of stuff I'd never used. Like recently in some of those, I was doing the drop shot. There aren't a lot of places where I can do a drop shot because I'm not out in a boat. I'm not in a vertical situation where you can drop it down, and it's where you'll have your, a tungsten weight at the bottom, and about a foot up, you'll have your drop shot weight right there, or your drop shot lure, and you just kind of dangle it and twitch it a little bit, and then the fish will come by and hit it. So I really don't use the drop shot that much. I have practice with it. I had one video where I was over there and did it. Caught some smallmouth in Iowa this summer. I think I'm gonna test it out. Test it out a couple. The last 3 times I went out here, tested it, nothing, not a single thing. So I just got to keep at it, keep trying. The other one is like Ned rigs. I don't really use them that much, so I've been using it a little bit more, testing that out. So it's kind of fun to go through the lures, but I'm also trying to make a good, like a little a video diary of my fishing adventures. But it's always fun to get out there and test the different lures. Let me show you some other stuff. I'll grab this guy right here. This is the new one that I've been using quite a bit of. And this is from Beast Coast. It's these little bitty OW sniper jigs. Fat fingers, guys. Fat fingers when I'm making the lures and just about everything. Although I do have to say, on the lard report, I've been getting the weight down pretty good. Anyway, yeah, I don't mind teasing about that. All right, here we go. Check out this deadly little sniper. So with the skirt on there, that's what they call a silicone skirt. You don't see a lot of, there's not a lot of it on this one. Small, compact, and you put a trailer on there, and the trailer on there kind of, accents it. So trailer like this, you might put a little frog on here. This one's too big, but I've got some smaller ones. For bigger ones like this is a sweet beaver right here. You can separate the tail. So you have these different trailers you can put on. You can put a craw on there and to give it a little bit more action. But I've been using these, and I just hadn't had much luck on them yet. Part of it is because it's a time of year, and these are going to work really well when I'm up in Iowa for fishing at the creeks and the dams there. So I just got to be patient. With some of these lures, I'm like, man, they got to work now. And it is, if you've been done any fishing, that doesn't work. Didn't work out that way. Here's another trailer. This guy right here, I'll also just rig it, Texas rig it, and use it as it is and punch through weeds and stuff. So anyway, there's different ones. Different companies make them. Everyone's got to have their It's called a beaver trailer because of the beaver tail, as in the animal, the beaver. But I think this one's a Kevin Van Dam one. Kevin Van Dam's Mr. Everything in the fishing tournament world. I think he's actually going to retire this year. But anyway, so here, like on this, to separate it, you just pull it apart. And then you get the action in the water as it's flowing. And yeah, this one's scented. So different ones will have different scents on them. And yep, probably my favorites are these right here. Sweet beavers and the smalley beavers. This one's sweet one is like a 4. See how then the tail just kind of undulates down there. This is 4.2 inches. And then smalley beavers like 3.5, I think. And those work really well for trailers on the smaller stuff. Anyway, so let me see what else in terms of baits over here. More crankbaits, more flat sides in here, tons of them. Let me show you something in this real quick. There's a couple, to me they're new, but Berkeley, which does a lot of stuff, they're out of, what is it? Up there by Clear Lake, Iowa, they're based out of there. But they make this flat side. So this is almost like a, excuse me, there we go, get in front of the camera. This is almost like a rattle trap. Imagine if you didn't have the bill, but this does have a bill so it can dive. And it does have the rattles. And this one's called a clicking flat side, Fritz side. Here, that's got good sound. So by Mr. Fritz side himself, Mr. Fritz, who came up with this style, it's a flat side. So those work out pretty well. Anyway, so that's they're kind of new and they're out of Iowa, so I try to support a lot of the Iowa and Minnesota products, like Bagley's up there in Minnesota. The Fritz sides are up there in near Clear Lake, Iowa. All right, let me show you this, guys. This is what I was using yesterday. The old school spinnerbait, and I've got a trailer on there. There we go. Sorry if I'm squinting, guys. I got these crazy lights to help keep things, bright in here, and it's just almost blinding. Anyway, on this one, I just put a Mr. Twister curly tail grub on here, and I like this one because it's got the, what do they call that? A safety pin latch on it. But even on these, you want to have a nice trailer on them. Didn't catch anything on him. This guy in the video, this is the one where I caught a nice bass on. And this guy right here is got two-tone colors, or 2 different colors. It's got the white and then kind of like a spotted gray and white. And then it's got the willows. And then here, I had to put a piece of metal, like wire, around the tip there to keep that, because that one will be open. See if it'll focus. Anyway, right there, it's like an open setup, and that drives me nuts. And, sometimes I direct tie, but a lot of times I use the clips. I don't mind using the clips. Everyone's like, oh, you can't use clips. You know what? I use clips all the time because I change lures so much, especially when I'm fishing up in Iowa and I'm up there changing stuff all the time. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to use clips if it speeds things up. Okay, the trailer for this that I put on there is a little Big Bite Baits Twin Tail Kamikaze. And when it goes through the water, man, it just gives a little bit more kick and action there. And it works out pretty good. So if you're looking at a couple other ones, trailers. Bass Pro Shop's got some good ones that you can use, that you can put on there. Let's see what else besides Bass Pro Shops. What was that other one? Oh, dang it. Oh, it slipped my mind. Oh, I can't think of it now. Dang. Just has to be that way. Well, the Mr. Twister, and then of course those guys. Gosh, now I'm losing my mind on everything else. Jeez, Louise. The Bass Pro Shop ones. Cajun, the little Cajun twin tails. All right, the other thing is, where's my other tackle box? Let me grab something. Let me show you this first. This is what the little chatterbait right here. And this is a jackhammer. There's all different companies that make them. I like the jackhammers. Let me show you real quick on one of them what it looks like rigged. There we go. Jeez Louise, stumbling, fumbling, and bumbling. Golly, trying to figure out what's what. Let me see what's going on here. I got another message here. Whoops. Oh. Okay, so this one's a chatterbait right here. And for the tail on this, I put one of these Biospawn Exo sticks, and I trimmed it down. There we go. I don't know, I cut a couple inches off of it and slid it on there. And so this is the tail, and I kept it as the tail. But this thing going through the water is such a good profile. You already got the flash up here. And so you just need something to add a little volume. And this adds a little bit of weight. It's just so good, these little Exo sticks right here. Let me see if I've got a full-size one laying around. Here's one right here, full size. So, I don't know, I trimmed it to about right here and put it on there. I think I've already got one pre-trimmed here, ready to go. Anyway, so you guys are probably thinking, man, this dude's a nut with the tackle. Well, a couple things. Oh yeah, thanks Gnarly20. Yep. Yeah, they're all great lures. They all work out pretty good. I know what I was going to show you. A rigged Beast Coast Sniper right here. This is the Smalley Beaver on there. Deadly little guy. Absolutely deadly. Good stuff. And then, of course, tubes. You guys know I'm always throwing tubes. But so just wanted to show you that I've been getting back into some of the older stuff with the Bill Lewis rattle traps, then the spinnerbaits, and blending it in with the new school stuff. These jackhammers, guys, I think I talked about this in the video, are about 16 cents. Sometimes you'll even see them at almost $20, and they're super expensive. So what it was is I was looking on eBay, and a guy was unloading some of them, and they were going for about 10 bucks a piece. So I got quite a few of them in his little collection there he was getting rid of. So now I've got a whole bunch of them ready to go. And then there's other brands that make their own. You know, it's you know how it is in the bait industry. Everybody's copying what everybody does. So then you have just some regular chatterbaits. And this thing chatters as it goes through the water, the blade right there. So I'm always enjoying testing those, but for sure, the old school spinnerbaits. And then, as you guys already know, the MEPs. MEPs are old school, and I throw those all the time. All right, let me put this back over here. Let me put this here. Hang on, guys. Let me get over here. Where are we? Here. All right. Yeah, so this is the MEPS ones that I carry with me. They're all going to fall out if I tilt it too much. But I also have some blade baits in there that I just mix in there. And, oh, here we go. Here's another one, a micro buzz. This is designed by, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And the rubber band came off. So instead of putting metal on the tip there, I've been putting a rubber band on here to try to keep it in place. So Andrew Hayes from Tackle Talk Live, the podcast, I think he's got a YouTube channel. He helped design this. It's a buzzbait that runs, it's a micro buzzbait that runs just below the surface, but you still get that great buzzbait action. There we go. Sorry, I'm like looking down. There we go. Got the rubber band back on there. So this is like right at the surface, the blade, and then I got one of these little big bite baits, kamikaze twin tails. This will be just fluttering down there, and the bass, whatever pike, would just come up and just crush it. So I've been using those. These I swapped out. I put 2 different other spinner baits in. So this is like my MEPS spinner bait, whatever, bladed baits, my XDs. And in this one I'll have my modified MEPS with a little spark shad right there. And then you can see this one, it's chipped up a little bit. And these work phenomenal. I got some other ones. This one I caught bass on, this little IU color. So I've got those, and then I got some bigger ones, like some spoons that MEPS makes, these little wolves, different sizes. They're all tangled, of course. But good stuff. And then this one is I've never thrown before. It's a Johnson Silver Willow spoon. And what I did is a little weed guard. I just modified it. I saw a video on that. And this guy just cut the weed guard here, folded it over, and then put the worm on there. So it's falling, it has some action. And there's a little tail. This tail was put on there, I don't know, a couple months ago. I need to cut it off since I put the worm on. But this thing, as it flutters down, has a lot of activity. So I'm always tinkering with different baits and all that good stuff. Here's another little MEPS. So I got a ton of those in there. Oh my gosh, crazy stuff. Not that one, this one. Here we go. This is one of these little blade baits. It just vibrates like crazy as it goes up and down. And this is what I was catching bass and crappie on. So I got a ton of them. Anyway, so I swap them out. All right, let's see here. Anything else I need to take a look at? Make some more lures. Oh yeah, I hadn't even got into the tubes, guys. Hadn't even got into the tubes. Oh, let me get something to drink here. Oh yeah, I gotta show you Santa here. Got a bunch of old school snacks. These are what are these? Reese's. Can't go wrong with a chocolate Santa. And of course those holiday flavored what do they call those? Hershey's Kisses. So, got the treats here. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, Christmas Eve is tomorrow night, so Merry Christmas to everyone. Let me get that back in there. Let me get this. Let me take a drink of this. There we go. All right, let's take a look at putting another lure together here. One of these little crappie jigs. Man, these things have been so much fun pitching them around. Let's get this chartreuse color. This guy right here. Let's get him started. I think a lot of the deals with lure tying is you just come up with your own style. And the thing is, I know mine may not be the choice way to do it, but I have so much fun doing it, guys. It's just a blast. All right, we're gonna change things up with some colors here. We're gonna go with an orange. These are bucktails right here. And then I need to use the turkey feathers from the farm. We'll get this guy started here. I was saying that one time when I started doing this, that the guys that actually do this, like hardcore, the lure tires, are probably like, what is this dude doing? He doesn't have a clue what he's doing. So what? The main thing is I gotta have fun doing it. What do you think? Yellow to go with this? Yeah. I think yellow's a good choice. I've had a lot of good luck with yellow on bucktails. Caught the PB, and I've got a replica of it. He's hanging right up there in a big bass. Maybe later on I can turn the camera around. The thing is, the camera's delicately balancing as we speak, so I don't want to. I don't want to mess too much with the camera. All right, let's see. Here we go. Fun stuff, guys. It's just a good hobby. Do you have to be great at it? No. For the most part, I'm an idiot at doing this stuff, but I have so much fun doing it. Plus, it works, you know. It works. I mean, I've caught crappie on them. And I've actually caught a smallmouth bass on that one pattern that I used. Oh, yeah, this is going to look good right here. On that, the gray with the white. Man, that looks good. Now, some of the bigger ones, the bucktails I use for bass, I hadn't really caught anything on those yet. And I've tried and tried, and it's just a matter of time. Yeah, I'll have to trim this one up a little bit more. A lot of times I just leave them, the imperfections on there. Oh, don't you dare do that. Come out of there. The spool is almost out, guys. So I've got another one. I got some green that I'm going to use. All right, guys. We got another one in the books. Another one in the books. Oh, yeah, by the way, I appreciate those that have stopped by on to see the chaos. So I appreciate you swinging by. There we go. There's another one. Appreciate you swinging by to check out the chaos and this guy who doesn't have a clue what he's doing making the lures. Hey, I'm having fun. That's the main thing. All right, let's take a look and see what's going on. What colors? What's another one I'm going to use? We're going to do red. Right there. We're going to do red. Where's the other patterns? The flash, I need the flash. Here we go. Right there. See, it's just a big wadded mess. As you can tell, I'm not a professional. If anything, I'm a moron doing this. But you know what? I'm having fun. All right, let me set that there. Let me get this one started. There we go. Yeah, you just gotta have fun. Is everything always gonna be perfect? No. All right, there's that. Where's the rest of our colors? We don't need the, here we go. This is what I'm looking for from the farm. And as soon as I open this up, it's gonna stink to high hell. Yeah. Because these came right out of the turkey buildings. So let me grab a little tuft right here and trim this. Crank those jigs out. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Check this out. This is going to be perfect. Let me get him in there. Crank the jigs out. Yeah, I'm going to crank the jigs out. God, this stinks. Because I got these right out of the farm, you know, the turkey farm. There are buildings there. And, you know, this smells like money, actually. So, people that are squeamish about barnyard life, too bad, so sad. That's just how it is. Stuff is going to stink. Then we're going to put a little brown on this. This isn't from a turkey, these here. Those are artificial ones. All right, there we go. Let me get the flash. All right, there we go. Yep. Yeah, so I had to kind of clean these a little bit. Yeah, you could smell the manure on them. Got them cleaned up, and then, well, before I cleaned them, when I had them in the bag, yeah, I didn't clean them until I got back here to Texas from Iowa. So open that bag up, man, and it was just whoo. So I got them cleaned up. It still stinks, but if anything, that adds to the lure. All right, let's get our flash. A little bit of flash there. Now we need just a little bit more of the fuzzy stuff from the turkeys right here. I don't know what they call this, hackle. You can see some of the manure in there, still in there. Even though I did clean them. It's all part of the experience. I'll be watching this later, and some of my buddies are going to be like, because this will air, you know, people can watch it later on. Not necessarily, you know, if they're not here live. And I can already tell you that probably my brother and some of my buddies are going to be like, you're such an idiot, such a moron. I'm okay with that, guys. I like to have fun. All right. Little one came off of there. All right, we're almost done with this. Let me get this cranked out a little more so I can trim it. So we can get this. We can get this one in. Nope. There we go. All right. I got to do just a little more trimming on it. So there we go. No. Down she goes. All right, guys, I got to crawl under here to get the glue. There we go. All right. We're there. Man, this one didn't turn out too bad. It's a little stiff now, but once it gets wet, it'll sparkle up. I mean, it'll breathe a little bit. I need to trim the flash. There we go. May not look all pro here on camera, but once in the water, it's going to work just fine. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, I know I got the camera vertical, guys. I tried to turn it, but it won't let me. So let me try. Let me see. Let me move this around. You're going to be looking at the ceiling. See, it won't. It won't come balance around. I think I got to do it from a laptop. So that's what the problem's going to be. Let me get my handy dandy spot back. Come on. Come on. All right. There we go, guys. So, yeah, I tried to turn the phone for that wide angle, and it just won't go. So what I'll have to do is next time I'll try to run it from the laptop, and I just need to get the laptop set up to do it, and then I'll be able to. But so for now, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. How come it won't work with the phone turning sideways? Crazy. All right. I'm probably doing something wrong in the settings, but next time I do this, I'll do it with a laptop. I just got to get the laptop where I can get it all set up for it. Okay. Let's see. Anything else in terms of lures? Oh, I know what I was going to show you. The big bucktails. So I've got all the big bucktails done. Yeah, for sure, the laptop next time. So I got a text message coming in from from a family member saying, "Don't worry about turning the phone sideways. Just have fun." Hey, thank you. I'll do it on the laptop next time. Here's all of the bucktails that are done that I made. They're homemade. So, or marabou, actually, bucktails and marabou. So they're fluffy like that, but once they get in the water, they're going to work great. So the color patterns that really are truly the best ones is that gray and white. Gray and white. Because it has that minnow look to it. Yep. They're super fluffy, but once you get in the water, they breathe. So, anyway. And then just some regular tough bucktails. I put a little piece of worm in there, little piece of a little Senko in there to cause them to fluff out a little bit more. So I got all these done. I just gotta make sure to get the, all these crappie ones done. I don't know how many I've got left, like maybe 10, 20 left. No, it's way more than that. Maybe 50 or 60. So next time I do the next live stream, what I'll do is I'll try to get the rest of them done and see about that. See what we can do about knocking those out. So this just being from the phone, yeah, I don't know, because a lot of these other guys that I follow, they can have their phones tilted sideways. I don't know. Let me dang, I need to try to look it up on the settings. Let me try this again. Yeah, see, there's nothing I can do. As soon as I turn it, I get a message that says orientation locked on your device. So what on earth does that mean? It means that I have to do the vertical. All right. Sorry, guys, about that. I got to get something to munch on here. Okay, so I'll do another one, but I just wanted another stream at some point. I just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. And I think we're going to break into old Santa right here. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Yes, I'll try to do the next one on the laptop, so we're not having to deal with just the vertical. I don't know. The phone, like I was saying, I'll work on that. Maybe I can figure something out. But when I started, I didn't have any kind of an option. As soon as I turn it, it gives me a abort. The phone can't be, turned that way. Go back. And I'm like, what the heck? All right. Well, not much for Chocolate Santa. He was all busted up in there. It's milk chocolate, good. That's good stuff. We used to get a bunch of these when we were kiddos. Stocking stuffers. Man, good stuff. All right, couple other things. So I think for now, for my schedule is to try to get out and do as much fishing as I can locally. I am trying to get some trips set up for the summer, and to try to go after some muskie. So we'll see how that goes. I got to get it all paid for, all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, in Iowa, fish at my usual spots. Have fun doing that. More lure testing. At this point, I think I've tested just about every single lure that I want to test. Unless somebody gives me something different or whatever. Like glide baits. Those big glide baits. I got a couple of those. I never use them. So it may be that I try that at some point. For Christmas Eve, tomorrow, if it's not a nasty day, I'll probably get out and do some more fishing tomorrow. And then when I'm done with this stream, I'll work on the laptop and see what I can do with that. See if I can get that situated. Probably a little bit better than using the phone. You guys are probably like, turn it. All right, let me see. If you know anything about any of these lures, drop a comment in there and let me know. Or if you know a good place where you can get them for cheap, like those rattle traps, because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to lose some. They're going to get snagged. And so I want to have a nice stash of those. The other crankbaits, I got a lot of them. So I'm a member of the Monster Bass, so I'm getting a lot of their stuff come through. So see. Jeez Louise. It's like I got feathers, hackle feathers in my eyes. Anyway, so I'm going to try to do a little bit of fishing tomorrow at a couple spots, and then we'll change that up. See, I don't know, because tomorrow night for Christmas Eve, my family will be doing something. Christmas Day, we'll be doing stuff. It's a special day, obviously, Christmas Day. And then maybe the 26th, I'll get out again and test some more stuff. And, of course, making lures. You know, the thing is, I don't mind if it rains, right? We need rain desperately. So if we're getting the rain, you know, I don't mind that. But a lot of places are having some issues with low water. I know up in Iowa, they're having problems with low water, you know, the drought. Now, for me, I can, if the water's low, I have pretty good strategies to fish in low water. It doesn't bother me too much. Well, even if it's flooded, if the water levels are high, I can handle those too. But where it gets tough is when the water is so low that you can't even really do anything. And I mean, if it's high water and it's really tearing through there, I've been able to fish that just fine. There's just different stuff you use, different applications for it. And, you know, it's just depending on how you want to do it, how you want to, you want something heavy to get down in there. You want to look for the eddies on the sides and to be able to do that, to handle that. And, you know, the other thing is with low water, if you get in there and you can kind of see where the fish are going to set up in some of the pools, and if the water's flowing, they're going to be in the little eddies waiting to ambush things that are coming down through the water. So usually what I do is I cast into the water and let it drift past that eddy as close as I can get to it, and that's where I catch a lot of them. You know, it just depends on how things go with that. It's all about reading the water and knowing what's what, where's where, and all that kind of stuff. But I'm looking forward to it. And of course, you know, here in Texas, well, the spots you saw in the last two videos, there was that one spot I went where I could have walked out about 75 yards straight out, and the water still wouldn't have been up to my waist because of the low water. But I you know, I figure it out. Let me see here from Gnarly20. Merry Christmas. Yeah, you too, buddy. Merry Christmas. Oh, let me see. I just got a message from my buddy Dave. He texted this one in. I don't know why he doesn't want us do it in the chat. He said, "What about your bushcraft stuff?" All right, guys, let me get this out of the way. Updates on bushcraft stuff. I hadn't really got any new stuff. I hadn't done any camping. I think I left most of that stuff up in Iowa. Let me see. May have a couple of knives right here. Hang on. Yep. Oh, they're always here. All right, so I always get questions about doing knife reviews. Everything from a little Swiss Army knife, to, you guys have seen this one, my neck knife. I don't really do like a full scale. I mean, I guess I've done some in-depth stuff, but this is a mini bush lure, Condor mini bush lure. Good stuff from El Salvador. So people ask me all the time, what is the bushcraft stuff you talk about? Well, so I've got buddies that are into bushcraft. That's like primitive living, basic skills, preppers. They'll go out and live off the land. They'll have like a tarp. They're camping in a tarp. They'll have mess kits so they can make their food and different things like that. And they really enjoy doing that, and they have a good time doing that. Here's another one. This one is from Dave Canterbury's crew, the Pathfinder Knife School. And this is a Kep Art style knife. And I've taken this one with me fishing many times, camping many times. But these bushcrafters are always homing their skills. You know, they're always just working on stuff, practicing their bushcraft skills. So anyway, so that's essentially what bushcraft is. Preppers, people that have doomsday properties. I don't really get full blown into it, but I've gone camping with a couple of them where they set up a tarp. They'll have their like a rendezvous or whatever. Then they have like their mess kits. They'll get water right out of the creek with one of these little water filtration systems, and they'll drink the water. Once it's filtered, and it's tough stuff. They don't mind the bugs. They don't mind anything. They're out there camping in it. All right, here's the other one. This is the one I got in Spain. This bushcraft knife. Man, this thing is nice. This is a Muela pointer. This is a real dandy right here. Made in Toledo, Spain, from Spanish steel. And this is when last year I was in Spain for my dad's knighting. So I got this one. And it's a little tourist spot there in downtown Toledo. And they see a lot of people come in and out of there. And it's got a nice sheath. And so, the guy that runs the place, he kind of keeps an eye on stuff. And then his wife is around there. And there's people always browsing and looking. And he knew I was serious when I went up to the area where they had the bushcraft knives. And I looked at it and I said, hey, is that a Scandi grind on it? Scandinavian grind, where it kind of tapers down. And then he knew that I had a clue as to what was going on. So I said, hey, can I hold that and check the balance on it? And these are called like Coco Bolo handles. It's the wood. I don't know, it's a synthetic wood type stuff. Anyway, different from Dave Canterbury's, where this is maple, curly maple. So anyway, the guy was like, oh, this, senor, he knows what he's talking about, or he knows what he's looking for in a knife. So I talked to him and I said, hey, if I buy this, can you get it wrapped up so I don't have any trouble going through the airport? And he said, sí, puedo hacerlo. So he packaged it up. And of course, he was happy I was spending big bucks in there, but really, it wasn't that much. I don't even want to say it was $100. Maybe it was 110 is I think what I paid for it, which isn't bad for a bushcraft knife coming all the way from Spain. So anyway, there we go. So that's covers the bushcraft stuff for my bushcraft buddies. This little Muela right here, or this little Condor mini bush lure, excuse me, this one right here is probably still 40-50 bucks. I think you can get them. And then of course the Swiss Army knives, you can always get those for a great deal. So you just got to keep your eyes peeled for them. But anyway, so that's pretty much bushcraft. They're out there doing stuff. Yeah, sometimes they do fish, but they're kind of a unique group of people that are really homing their skills on. Sometimes they'll even start a fire from scratch. Other times, it's building a structure straight from what's there in the environment. And so I really like that. But so let me see here, Gnarly 20 with a Merry Christmas. What are you guys doing for Christmas? Let me know later. Drop some comments in there. Like I was saying, I'm going to do family stuff. Let me see. Anything I want for Christmas? I got a message on that. Anything you want specific for Christmas? Last minute shopping is still going on. Anything for Christmas that I want? Surprise, surprise, fishing stuff. I don't have my rods up here with me, but I already took care of the Black Friday stuff. I got those, the St. Croix, and that was it. I'd already, and the reels, I'd already taken care of all that stuff. So anything for Christmas? Probably just some fishing lures, fishing gear, those little donkey leashes. I don't have one where I can get it, but it's like a little snap you can put on the fish's lip, and you don't have to run a stringer through the gills anymore. And then it's got a long cord you can tie off. Um, I'm always see I'm stocked up on enough fishing gear. I don't really need any more. I mean, seriously, I've got so much, so many lures. Uh, I don't know, maybe fishing line. I'm always using Power Pro. Excuse me. I'm always using Power Pro. 20 pound when I'm up in Iowa because of pike, there. I don't have a dedicated pike rod. Well, I do, but it's for live bait. But I use 20 pound braid and it goes to 20 pound fluorocarbon. And that works pretty good for me. This summer, I did have that one pike that I lost, and he had frayed the fluorocarbon and it gave way. So normally, well, you see guys doing 30 and 50, but I can get away with 20 and 20. Now here in Texas for the bass, I'm doing 15 braid, 12 fluorocarbon leader, and I could probably do 10 braid and 10 fluoro leader, but I don't know if I'm punching, you know, pitching into cover and stuff like that with a punching rig, then I probably should go back up to 20, but 15 and 10 works out pretty good. All right, let me see. Anything else to cover? I think that's it, guys. I should be making more lures, but uh, I think for now we're pretty much set. Let me get these Bushcraft knives out of the way. I've got so much gear stacked up here, guys, for all of this. Um, any travel plans for New Year's? Am I doing anything for New Year's? No, I'll probably stick around here. That's pretty much it. Hey, if you guys are going anywhere for New, I may do another live deal for like New Year's or something. I don't know. Let me think about that. Then I'll get the laptop set up to try to take care of everything, so we're not having to deal with this vertical whatever. I don't know. I have to do more. I didn't do much research into this. I was just like, I'm just gonna set it live later today. I set it up this morning, but I was out doing stuff, so I didn't really do much research on camera angles, and I knew I just had to learn on the fly. But I've had a lot of fun doing it. Yeah, but definitely next time on the laptop, I'll set it up that way. All right. Let me see. We're gonna go with which colors to. Oh, chartreuse is the next one we're gonna rock and roll with. This guy right here. Let me get this out of the way. Oh, I still got a big chunk of chocolate here. From the chocolate Santa, he's almost gone. All right, let's get this guy going. Where's my tag? There it is right there. That's one good thing about doing live stuff for, what? This came off. That's a good thing about doing live stuff with YouTube, is that you can always go back and watch it later. It'll post it as just like one of the videos, and that works, out great for me. Especially since I've never done one before. I'm like, how is this going to go? Dipping back into the turkey feathers. Here we go. So what I do is I find a little section, and it doesn't have to be a lot. Sometimes I'll do it from the end, but a lot of times it's just ones that I see that I like, and I just cup it in there, and then I just trim it. So I get the piece that I want, or pieces. Get them in there, and I'm good to go. But I should be making the rest of these, get them all done. And then that'll be it for crappie jigs. Come on, what happened here? There we go. There's my little tag. All right, there we go. So once I get that, get these done, then I'm all done with making homemade crappie jigs. No more. But that's a good thing about having being on school break. And I work at such a great place, guys. Such a great crew of people. I have so much fun doing that, working there. And we're truly blessed. I know people say, you know, hey, teaching's a hard stuff. How can you do it and this and that? I always have fun. And anybody that's known me all these years of teaching, you know, they know that. I have a good time doing it. All right, what do you think? A little flash on this one? Yep, I can. Woo. I wish I could let you guys sniff that. Smells like one of the turkey buildings at the farm for sure. All right, let me set that down there. And I think we're good to go. I was going to put some flash on there, but nah. Anyway, so since I'm being on Christmas break, I get a chance to recoup, refresh, and I work at such a I work at such a cool place. Everybody's really nice, and I have a great time, guys. It's just, I know everyone's like, man, how do you know, like I was saying a minute ago, how do you put up with kids and this and that? Well, you do it for so long, you get used to it. And really, you got to have fun. If you have fun, like with any job, you have fun, you're going to enjoy it. So I enjoy it, but I really like the breaks. Spring break is coming up, so I think I've got a plan for what I'm going to do with that. Let's get some of this glue on here. Bull Market was wondering, hey, is that water-based or what is that? I don't know. Am I going to need to trim this one any? No. That is perfect. Could I put some on the sides here? Yes, but I didn't. I just kept it real basic on this one. Real basic. Is it too long? Really, you don't want it much past the hook. Some of them I let it stay past the hook, but because what happens is they're going to come up and hammer it. And if they aim at the back end of where that trailer is, right here, they may not get the hook. So ideally, you want to have it right at the base of where the hook is. All right, now I'm going to use a product that it's crazy stuff. We're going to use orange. This is kind of like some kind of batting for like fly tires for like trout flies. And I'll show you. Let me get this in here. And to be honest, guys, it's kind of a weird product, and I know it's not intended for this, but I'm going to throw it on here anyway. So this is it's like batting. It's kind of a weird, fluffy type stuff. show you a little bit up close. Oops, there's too much of a glare. I'm telling you guys, these lights just make me blink, and it's like I'm having vision problems. They're too bright. But anymore, you got to have that, because if not, then you can't see. And I've got a window with the blinds open back here, and you know how it is when you have a window in the background, then it's too bright back there and you can't see what's up here. So anyway, there we go. All right, let me smooth this out. This bunches up really weird. So what is this one, a Halloween colored one? No, we're gonna put some man, that's tough stuff right there. So usually what I do is I put a dark on the top and a light on the bottom, light color, to mimic the bait fish. But I'm gonna put a little bit of flash right in the middle. So I put flash in different places, guys. It's just, I'll put them on the edge. Hey, where'd it go? There it is. I'll put it on the top, the bottom, on the sides. So it's not always 100% in the best location to make it where it's even, you know, because you're dealing with stuff in the water and it skews how it all looks anyway in the water. What do they say? Red, once it gets down, looks more like brown down in the water. Blue will hold its color. White, I kind of talked about that with lures with the spark shad. If you're using like a white swim bait or trailer, whatever, when it's dark, cloudy, murky, it absorbs the light when it's down in the water, and it really shows up well. If it's a bright sunny day and you're using white, it'll reflect the light. There we go. But with these, I try to put the lighter colors, like white, on the bottom, because a lot of times you look at a bait fish, it'll have that on the bottom. Now, some people making these crappie jigs are doing circus colors, guys. I don't want to make any circus jigs. They're doing all these weird combos. They got chenille, they got this, they got that, and they're like, oh, but the crappie hit them. Well, you know, and it may be that the colors are way different, and it doesn't make a difference if, you know, if you're using those like that. But I can't. No, I'm not doing that. I'm sticking with natural colors. Once in a while, I'll do like a pink, but, and I've got this crazy Mardi Gras looking line, and I hate using it, but you know what? When it's on, it looks phenomenal. I made time one with that so you can kind of see it sparkle. I hate using it though. It's real fine too, and it's just tough to work with. Fat fingers, guys, fat fingers. Nope. Yep. Nope. Can I save it? There we go. There we go. All right, let me get some glue on here. Not too much, just a little. What is he saying? Christmas vacation? You want to load me up there with a little bit more, Clark? All right. Should we make a Cousin Eddie signature crappie lure, crappie jig? Oh, this one's going to turn out nice. See, it doesn't always have to be even, because when it's in the water, when it's flowing, the hooks right here, I may trim just a little on the back end, but got the flash in there. Yeah, you know what? Let's make a Cousin Eddie crazy lure. There we go. Voila. All right, I got to figure out which one we're going to use. Okay, we'll start off with black. Then we're gonna switch over to this crazy, this other, I just can't stand using this. It frays, it flails. I gotta unwind it way the heck out far if I'm gonna use it. But we'll make a Cousin Eddie signature crappie crazy looking thing with this weird string. I mean thread. All right, we're gonna put some we're gonna put flash right off the get-go. Cousin Eddie loves all that bling. There we go. Now, what I'll do is I'll double it so we get a whole bunch. Come on. I'm serious, guys. Don't get fat and don't get old. Fat fingers are the worst. Yeah, using this crazy glitter thread is just a nightmare. But it'll look good. All right. What else do we need for Cousin Eddie? What the? Purple, pink. The question is, where would Cousin Eddie go fishing with this? Probably not in Arizona. Let's say he'd be fishing. Well, where was Christmas vacation? Chicago is where they were. It's not during, I guess he could ice fish with it, but so Cousin Eddie, we're gonna have him. Jeez Louise, look at that. Let me trim this. Cousin Eddie would be fishing, probably going to some neighborhood and wake up all the neighbors, pull his RV right in there, and just start fishing in the neighborhood. And people would be like, "Hey, what are you doing? Get out of here! This is private, private residential HOA zone or whatever." And he wouldn't care. But if not, if you went to like a local public waterway area, he could use this. See this? Ooh, I almost lost it right there. This stuff is hard to use. All right, so we got the purple. All right, what else is Cousin Eddie gonna need? Pink. I got a friend of mine that got a pair of those shoes, those white tacky shoes that he wore on Christmas vacation. He got a pair of those, and he'll wear them for different things, and he's like gets into it, and I'm like, dude, come on. All right, here we go. We're adding a little Cousin Eddie pink. Get that in there. Oof. Coming apart here, guys. It's this crazy thread. Dang. See, I can't do it tight enough because it's so frail. But it rotated on me. Oh, this one's gonna be rough, all because I didn't get it in there nice and tight. All right, so we got some pink in there. I know it's looking rough now, guys, but what about some green? The Cousin Eddie special. The question is, who's going to fish with this? Give it to my brothers. Give it to my best friend Ivan. Give it to one of my cousins. Like maybe my cousin Josh. Maybe my cousin Matt, maybe my cousin Graham can get the cousin Eddie special. Or maybe I'll fish with it. All right, let's take a look. We're doing okay. Let's get this sorted here. This guy is... Yeah, we'll do the trimming. We'll get it all trimmed up a little bit later. All right, it's okay if it looks like a disaster because that's how... Oh, wait a minute. Orange. We need to get some orange in there for old cousin Eddie. Orange it is. Anyways, whoever's going to get the cousin Eddie lure, I wish you, or the jig, I wish you the best of luck fishing with it. Oh, dang, I almost lost this. Almost lost the thread. This stuff is hard to work with. See, I can't cinch it down like I like to because it'll just snap. And then if it snaps, then guess what? I got to start the whole thing all the way over. So I'm kind of manually releasing it. If I try to pull naturally for it to like pull on its own from the dobbin, we're going to have problems. But you can see it spinning on itself because I didn't cinch it down really tight. But the glue will help with that once we get to the end. Plus, this is a cousin Eddie special, so it didn't have to be perfect. Man, look at that disaster. Whew. All those crazy colors. All right, let's see. We got orange. We need a little bit of white in there for the old cousin Eddie special. Well, gee, Clark, you didn't have to go out of your way to make the lure for me. That wasn't a big deal there, Eddie. Or he'd probably say, beautiful, Clark, beautiful. Let's get this going. I'm getting a text message. One of my friends is like, where's the eggnog? Hey, listen, man. There is no eggnog, okay? There is no eggnog. I got another I don't know why they just don't type it into the live. All right, guys, I'll have to tell you. You already know how to do that. Where's the Santa hat? I don't have the Santa hat. Make a video testing the cousin Eddie crappie. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to do some more serious wrapping on this thing. Let me go ahead and put some glue in there. I guess I could test the lure out around here and then decide who I want to give it to later. Or maybe have a contest or something. I don't know, a trivia question to win the cousin Eddie crappie lure. I'll tell you what, it's giving me the sniffles. Oh, wait a minute, we forgot all this. We have lime green, but we don't have any chartreuse in there. Yeah, usually when I'm done making lures, guys, I gotta vacuum the office because this stuff just goes everywhere. And then it gets all over me. But once I'm done with making these, I'll be done. Unless I run out and I gotta make a new stash of them. I just like doing it because it's, you know, you get home from work sometimes, it's real therapeutic. You know, just to make some lures, or like today, it's a rainy day. I got all the Christmas shopping done. I got too many fishing lures, so I'm not looking for any more lures, really. And so, you know, I'm just having fun making them. yeah, this is going to be good right here. So this is the chartreuse. That other buck, oh, I lost it, guys. Are you kidding me? I got to get glue on this right now, or I'm going to have to start over. I lost it. Dang. I pulled on it just a hair too tight, just like I feared. And that was all she wrote. Dang it all. Rats. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Oh man, guys. And on a live stream, trying to get this fixed, it's going to stink. Because you guys aren't going to want to wait for me to thread this through there. And it's just all frayed up. So that's what I'm trying to do. I got to get it back through this dobbin. I pulled just a little too hard on there. Dang it. So I put glue on there so hopefully we don't have to start all the way over. Well, you can't have a Cousin Eddie crappie jig without some kind of a story to go along with it. So just bear with me as I try to thread this through. Come on. Get through there. It stinks. Why is it doing this? It's just too frail to... Maybe this stuff isn't meant to go on a dobbin. Or on a bobbin, I'm sorry. Dang it. I can't get it, guys. Let me try one more time. Let me see if I wet it. It'll get some. Come on. See, then it wants to curl back on itself. But you're right. What kind of you're right. I mean, I'm right. What kind of a crappie lure would it be for Cousin Eddie if it didn't have a story? Come on. I gotta wet this little section here. We gotta be getting close. It's sort of going through. I know I need to be holding up there so you can see it, but come on, get through there. It's got to be creeping out of there by now. Let me try something here. Sorry, guys, for the disruption. I could put a piece of fishing line through there and guide it through. Come on. trying to use some of the black to push it through as like a guide to help it. And nope, it didn't push it through for me. Dang it. Come on. Well, guys, I can't do it. I'm just going to have to, by hand, just hand crank like this. I put some glue on there to try to stabilize it. This is crazy. But what a good story it'll make. How the Cousin Eddie special came out. All right, by hand it goes. Here we go. Cranking and cranking and cranking and cranking. So we're going to have a little, kind of a thicker collar on this, because it wouldn't be a Cousin Eddie special if it didn't have all this glitz and glamour on it. Any colors I'm missing? Let me take a look. Any other colors? What about a little bit of gray? We can throw some gray in there. Black, maybe? Yeah, we'll just go with a little bit of gray. All right. Well, that's just a real nice surprise there, Clark, is what he would tell us. Or tell Clark. Oof. I'm going to have to fix this down here. Hey, I already have some white in there. Oh, no, that's gray. Wait a minute. I already have gray. Oh, no, it's the white. What am I thinking? I'm losing my mind already here. This is the gray. The other one is the white. With these crazy lights, these LED lamps, they're not streamer lamps that you see people use. These are just like LED desk lamps. 2 of them. They snap onto the table here in my office. There's nothing special about them. What is going on with this now? It's starting to curl up. All right, so we got the big collar on here, a la Cousin Eddie, is because we know he'd like that. Let me trim this. We're almost done. Cousin Eddie would be proud. The question is, who's going to get this? One of my cousins, a family member, one of my best friends, one of my bushcrafting buddies. If he's out there doing his stuff in Missouri or Arkansas and does some crappie or trout, this would work for trout too. Oh my gosh, I think we're done. Let me get the glue on here quick before the whole thing falls apart. Kind of like that, what was that little pinwheel thing that he touched it in Christmas Vacation? It all fell apart. Or maybe for my cousin Josh, he's got a good little spot there. He's close to a river, the Root River, where he could pitch this in there for smallmouth. Smallmouth would crush this. Now, with all these wacky colors, the fish are going to be like, what on earth is that? All right, let me let this dry for a minute. Let the glue dry, and then we'll take it apart, do some trimming, and then we'll take a look at it. Not bad, guys. Not bad at all. The Cousin Eddie special. Not bad at all. It's a pretty good idea they came up with that. All right. So I know what's going to happen with this is I'm going to get comments from family members, and they're going to say, you need to make a whole bunch of Cousin Eddie specials for everybody. And I'm going to be like, no, I'm not going to make any more. It's a one of a kind. So, anyway, let me take a look at this. Anything else? I got some of the flash in there. Not missing any other colors. I just got to let it dry and then we'll turn it loose. Ooh, I forgot to tell you guys about this. The new hat cam that I put together. We'll talk about this while I'm letting it dry. What does he say? Oh my God, epic jig. Jig, says Gnarly 20. Thank you. One of a kind. Do I ever sell the jigs? No. I give them away mostly. I'm nowhere near good enough to do any selling of them. Most of them are hideous, but you know what? I know they catch fish because I've used them. Anyway, so what I did is I drilled a little hole right here, and I just put the GoPro mount on it. And so I hadn't tested this one out yet. So maybe that'll be in a future video. But as we're waiting for the collar to dry here, we can just talk about that. The hat. It's so I used to have the chest mount on the GoPro, but I'm so short. I guess not really so short. I'm like 5'7", but being chubby doesn't help. Or it's plus when you're fishing, it's awkward because where my hands are is right where the camera would be. And I tried that a few times, either up or down, and it was just a mess to deal with it. So then I saw a guy, I think it was North Dakota Yak Angler, had a hat cam, and his is made a little bit different. Then I thought, you know what, maybe I'm going to just look around and see if somebody's made one. So I started searching on YouTube, and there was a video a guy made, and I can't even think of the channel anymore. And so he made a hat cam, and I was like, oh, you know what, I'm going to do that. So I tested it out, I made one, and it worked. And it's worked ever since then. But I like the angle. Excuse me. I like that camera angle better from it's up top, because then my hands aren't in the way. The trouble is when I turn my head a lot, then the camera's going to jump around and people are going to get dizzy. But or sometimes when I'm standing there, see in my neck, kind of right here, you can kind of see where I've got that scar. I've got a titanium implant in between my C6 and C7. So a lot of times when I'm fishing, you'll see that the camera is tilted with like the horizon. And it's because my head feels comfortable tilting that way, and because of the surgery. So, that's just how, how it is. And, I'm not a pro cinematographer. I just throw the videos together. And if, more for my family and friends, and then for me to go back and watch later. But, if people enjoy it, man, that's awesome. I appreciate all the support, for that. But anyway, so that's where that comes in with the hat cam. I have seen some where they'll take the camera and they'll have the camera on like a mount that comes down on your neck. And I've seen some other YouTubers with a neck mount. The problem with the neck mount for me is a lot of these places where I'm fishing, you're just sweating so much that it would just drive me nuts having something around my neck right there. But so that's where that comes in. All right. So I think we're all dry here on the Cousin Eddie special. Let me trim this. I know I'm going to get comments. If it's a Cousin Eddie special, don't trim it. It should be looking crazy. Couple stragglers on there. You're always going to have those. Come on, stragglers, get out of there. Hang on, guys. The orange is where the stragglers are. Let me see here. What's up with the purple, man? It's all like kinked around the... Come on, purple. Purple and green. There we go. Come on. There we go. Yeah, you're always going to have a couple. So what I'd like to do is I just like to kind of pull on it a little bit to get the stragglers off. Some guy would say, well, a true lure tire, jig tire wouldn't have any stragglers. All right, let me get this back because these lights and the camera, I'm sticking it like right in your face. Maybe you can see it pretty good. All right, this one's a little cockeyed right here, but once it gets wet, it'll straighten out. But there's the collar. There's our Cousin Eddie special. Do I hear $10? $10 anyone? Do I hear 15, 50, or 20, 25? I'm kidding. No auction. But I may do a contest to see who gets this lucky lure. It'll probably go to family and friends, not to like the general public out there. But here's our tribute, our ode to Cousin Eddie with our Cousin Eddie crappie jig. Obnoxiously crazy colors. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. I'm sorry about the camera being vertical. I'll have to do some research on that, and then or I'll just use the laptop next time. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today. Doing a little Christmas Eve chit chat, talking some lures. You know, the rattle traps, the bombers. We talked about bushcraft stuff, water conditions, kind of, sort of. But what else did we talk about? Oh, yeah, the bucktails, all that good stuff. So I had a good time doing this for the first ever live stream. You know, this, I mean, it's a learning experience, I'll tell you that. I mean, it's... You know, if you've never done this before, you're trying to get everything set up. It's kind of crazy. I may do one when I'm fishing one time, do like a live stream and see how that goes. But other than that, I don't know. I'll have to work on getting the camera all set up. But you know, thanks for everybody for hanging out. This is a lot of fun for me, a new experience, and just trying to sort it out. So we've been going for over an hour now, so, and it time's you know, has flown by, so I've had a good time. We'll do another one, maybe like a New Year's Eve kind of a thing, and we'll have maybe I should get some orders in. We'll do some tackle talk stuff with that. All right, let's see. Oops, what was going on there? All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Until next time, I will see you then. Thanks for hanging out. I had a good time. So learning how to do all this. And hey, if you're out there fishing, good luck. Hope you're catching some stuff. I guess we're not fall fishing anymore. We're in the winter. If you're doing ice fishing, if you're out there fishing, wow, the camera gets my mustache kind of like with all these lights, like a weird look to it. Huh. It's a little normal. Anyway, so if you're out there doing some fishing, good luck with everything. Hope it all goes well. And let me know what you're catching. So anyway, until next time, I will see you guys then. Bye-bye.